Hey, welcome to this video. My name is Chad and we are going to talk about my first PRS match for the local 24 and 25 season. So typically we have these on the third Sunday of the month starting in September, usually running through June. We take off July and August because it's ridiculously hot here in Oklahoma. Now, something came up apparently over the last few weeks and we bumped it to the last Saturday of September, which was yesterday for me, and the 29th if you're watching this when it comes out, or anytime after. So a few things to get started. Leading up to this, I'd been testing some ammo, trying to get everything dialed in, and I thought I was doing pretty good and had everything set. I was super confident with it, and then I had some weird speeds, so I decided to do a lot test of primers. Between 1 week and the next week of doing that lot test, I noticed that my groups where I would aim at the center, they were about an inch and a half over to the left. So I thought, okay, that maybe is the primers. I didn't notice anything that was loose, so I just ran through the test and settled on what primer I was going to use and started baking my match ammo. I decided to come out the last week before, and do kind of a final test and chamfer and deburr the case mounts on the new Alpha Brass. And when I did that, I noticed I was still off over to the left. So I do what you should do, and I adjusted my zero back to the center and had some good groups for that day. Thought I was okay, but something kept nagging me throughout the whole week. And on Saturday, when I got off of work, I ran home, changed clothes, came out here just to shoot one more group and make sure everything was going to stay where I had put it. So I get out here and take a cold bore shot just at the paper, and then fired for a group, and I am off to the right this time, or back off to the left. So I'm still off, and I don't know why. So I adjust myself back over, and I'm, good and centered. Actually, hang on. This was from the week before. So I had got everything good and centered. And then I come back out on Saturday and I fire this first group, and I'm off on the other side. So instead of being off on the left, I'm off on the right. So I take a few shots and move my zero back to the middle. Then I'm pretty much at dark right then. I load up and go back to the road where I can shoot at 500. I had a flashlight shining on my 10-inch target at 500. Got down on my platform up there and went 5 for 5, and I got all hits, but they were kind of in a straight line up and down the left side. They were just a couple random, not as precise as my match ammo. So I was getting hits, but I still felt like I was moving around. So I know somebody had told me to check the action screws, and I was shaking everything here, and I didn't feel anything wiggling, so I thought everything was good and I didn't need to go any further. But to put it out of my mind, when I got home, got my torque wrench up here, and the rear screw, it clicked before anything moved. The front screw made about, I would say, 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn, and then it clicked. So there was the problem. Anyways, I got that tightened down, finished making all my ammo. It was about 11:15 at night before I even finished getting everything loaded up. And by the time I got to bed, it was almost 2 o'clock in the morning, and my alarm started going off at 4:30. So we'll just say that a very long week at work, plus a lot of stuff I was doing at home, and I didn't eat dinner till typically 11 o'clock at night, and average maybe 4 to 4.5 hours of sleep each night for the week, and only got about 2.5 hours of sleep the night of the match. So anyways, I'm pretty exhausted come Sunday. So we get up there, it's a nice day. I get there first. I wanted to check my zero. I had moved just a little bit over and had my chrono on so I could get day of speeds and input that into my Kestrel. I saw that I was about, I think, 1 mil over to the left, so I just adjusted my windage over and called it good. Went up, joined the group, and we got started. Now the first round, or the first stage, was a NRL Hunter type stage, and I'm hoping that my trigger cam video come through. I didn't even have time to verify that everything was set up right, but I tried to turn it on for the first one. I'm hoping that it actually records everything like I'm hoping. If so, I will be laying that in as I tell you what all these stages were like. So the first stage, we had a one target from 4 position type thing. So you walk up to the line, set up, and scan for the target. There was a reference orange torso with a white head painted. That's your hunter. And the target is a pig somewhere around him. Now, what turned out to be the problem is the pig was kind of further back from where the hunter is, but with a background of like kind of red, orangish color rock, and the pig itself was orange, but a faded orange. So it blended in really well with the background. I probably looked over it a dozen times and it never saw it. We had 4 minutes to do that. At the 1 minute mark, if you still hadn't found it, you go back to the spotting scope and he would have it there so you could see where the target is, and zoomed in more than the 10 power binoculars, much easier to see. So see the critter, go up to my binoculars, find him again, range him, and take that number, punch it into my Kestrel super fast, get my adjustments, click up, get set up, and by that time I think I had 10 seconds, so I broke my first shot and got a hit with it, so that was worth 2 points. By the time I even got moved to the next position, time was up, so I went 1 for 1 shot there, but I only got 2 out of the possible 8 points. Kind of a disappointing start, but everybody was having problems finding that target. It was literally the hardest one to see of the whole day. Then we move over to the culvert, and there we are doing 10 shots, and we start at the far 747. Then you're kind of shifting to the right and finding the 540, little small IPSC. I think it's probably a third or half size IPSC. And 3 shots at the first, 3 shots at the second, and then shift way back over. And the car that is set up every time, and you're taking 1 shot at each of the driver and passenger targets, and then the driver and passenger side targets that are on the outside of the bed. That one I started off decent, ended up with 5 total hits and made it all the way through that one. So some of my positions were not as stable, but overall I think I did okay, because my first couple hits were good, and then my last one on the first target, I just got kind of wiggly. Then I moved to the second one. The wind had started picking up then, and I missed, saw my miss and corrected and got another hit, and then moved to the, I think I might have got I got 2, 1, and then in the car, I think I got 2 out of the 4 there. So a few little bobbles, but still I got half of the total points on that one. Then we move over to what is called the truck claim. So we had the hunter head target that we used for the NRL Hunter, the first stage, and we're actually shooting that target. And once you get a hit there, then you move a pretty good shift to the left and find a plate rack, and we're only using the big target there, and engage that until you get a hit. Once you get a hit, move back to the hunter guy and go till you get hit, and so forth. So you're moving back and forth with every hit. Now the trick on this one was the angle. So say the hunter guy is here, the other target's here, so it's a pretty good move. So you're spending a lot of time just finding the targets again in between each of your shots. I think I started off with hit, and then I came back to the hunter, and I thought I was on so good that I broke the shot, and I started moving, and then I got about halfway through and I realized nobody called hit, and I had to come back and re-engage it. So I didn't pause long enough to actually see that I hit, or in this case missed, and that cost me several seconds because I had to refine the target again and get settled and take a second shot. Got that hit, and then by the time I got moved over and found the claim target again, I can't remember if I got another shot off or if I just ran out of time. But on that one I only got 3 out of the maximum 10. That was one of my disappointing stages. Okay, then we go up onto the hill where we laid down in prone, and there was a couple spots already laid out, and I decided I would just go ahead and lay down my mat over on the left hand side. We're actually going to shift to my mat, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So from down here in the prone, we had our first stage was the punishment. We had a 500, 600, 700, 820, and 1120. And this one was one that you're starting, mag in, bolt back, and everything's dialed. You're ready to go for your first one. And finding the targets in this range is kind of difficult. A lot of times they blend in with the background and they are rather difficult. Now the trick here was you take 2 shots at each target. If you hit, you've got to break your shot, get your hit, and then you've got to stand up and then get back down. So you're punished for doing well. On this stage, I don't remember exactly what I did. I'm pretty sure that the first target I did good. I think I got both of my hits there. And then I moved to the second target on my adjustments, but I'd actually moved and found the third target. So I took both of my shots at the third target with target 2 dialed in. So obviously I missed both of those. Then we realized what I was doing, so I just dialed for the target I was on and took 1 shot. I think I got a hit there, stand up and get down. And by this point, I'm really starting to feel the day. All the low sleep for the week was really catching up to me, and I was extremely exhausted. And I was laying on some rocks, and I was just kind of miserable at that point in the day. But anyways, I tried to go on through the rest of it and just could not get any more hits on that stage. So I was a little disappointed there. I only got 3 out of the 10. The next one was the Troop 2. Now on that one, the first target where I was positioned, the first target is hidden in between 2 trees. And from where I was, I could barely see it, but I'd be shooting through the trees. So I tried to scoot over to the right some, and then there's a bush right in front of my barrel and blocking my scope. So I was like, well, that's not going to work. So I moved back to where I could barely see the first target, but I could at least see the rest of them. So I figured I'll just wing it on the first one and try to do well on the rest. I think I actually did miss both of the first ones. Go to the second one. That was a little round guy at 450. Like I said, hard to see, hidden by trees. Then go to 550. I think I got 2 hits. 702, I think I got 2. 936, let's see, 2, 4. I think at the 936, I may have got both of those. And then the 1010, I think I only got 1 out of those 2. I think I made all the shots on that one, but I got 7 out of the 10. One of my better stages of the day, actually my best stage of the day. And then we get to the last stage, and this one was called Going the Distance. So we used the last target on another troop line that we didn't shoot this day, but it's at 870. We used the last target from the first troop line at 1120, and then the third target was the last target on the second troop line at 1010, and then the fourth target from the second troop line that was at 936. So in relation to this location from this shooting position, it's the farthest targets in almost 180 degree range. What I had made the mistake of doing on this one, which is why I'm trying to make this video so I can review this and remember that I made kind of a serious error here. To do this stage, you're pretty much starting off with your rifle angled over here. And I had adjusted my bipod so that I could, get stable on my bag. And I was in a good position and I could get shots at that first target. And then you're literally moving your whole target. So like I said, I'm sitting on rocks and I'm trying to pick up my rifle with my elbows on the ground and use my back muscles to wiggle around here. And then I finally get resituated and get onto the second target, and I can't get my rear low enough. So I'm adjusting my bag. I'm wasting a bunch of time, and I keep trying to get lower and lower and lower so I can get my reticle up just enough to where that target is a little bit higher on the back of the property there. and I get this bag as low as I can. I still can't get there, so I toss it out. I take my fist and just kind of ball it up under the bag rider and kind of relax it until I'm on target. I actually think I got one out of those. The first target's 2 shots, the second was 3, the third was 3, and the last was 2 for a total of 10. I think I actually managed to get one of those 3 hits with my hand wiggling around. So I got just dumb lucky there. And then I go to move on to the next one. I've got to lift up again, move position, and try to get it settled. So really, I should not have adjusted my bipod a step lower. Should have kept it where it was and figured out something else to do on that first target, but that's just not what I did. Anyways, I believe I ran out of time on that one and ended up with, let's see, 3 out of the maximum 10 shots there. So overall, I had a few good stages, but more bad stages. And I want to say all the errors really did come down to me. So as you can probably tell, overall, I'm a little bit disappointed in my performance. I probably should admit that I spent too much time focusing on getting my ammo as good as I possibly could. And I really did neglect all the other skills over the last several weeks. And I just didn't practice enough on all the other stuff. So I'm pretty confident in the ammo that I have now. I think I've tested about everything that makes sense to test, and it's really doing superb. My ammo is doing better than I am, so I think I need to move on from that project and just focus on the physical skills that are needed. Hey, one more thing. If you do like hearing about match review videos and all the other kind of cool stuff that I do, I would really appreciate it if you would get subscribed right down there. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next video. So to finish this off, all total I had 23 hits. I finished overall in 5th place. What's really frustrating to me is at various different matches over the last year, I beat everybody at some point except for the guy that got first. So in theory, I had the ability at some point to have got 2nd place. Definitely could have got 3rd place, but I was off on my game on several stages and other people were much more on their game this week. So I believe with my 23 hits, I think the top score was 35 or 36. Oh, hang on. Okay, so the top score was 35 hits. Second was 33. Third was 32. And 4th was 30. So, you know, if 2 of my stages, if I did twice as good as I did, I would have been right there with them at 29. If I did, you know, 60% better, you know, shoulda, woulda, couldas. I know I have the skill to have done better. I just was really kind of flustered the whole day and I didn't put on the best performance, and that is all on me. Overall, I took 44 shots out of the maximum 58. If you were to get all first round shots on the NRL Hunter stage, you would have only had 54 shots. But, you know, counting it as a full stage of shots, 58 would be the maximum score. So of the maximum score, I only got 40%, well under my 50 to 60% goal. Of the shots fired, I took 44 shots, had 23 hits, so I had about a 53% hit rate. When I'm on target, I'm good and I can hit. One thing I did really good was when the wind would be kind of calm when we were getting ready for the stage and the Kestrel was not showing any adjustments needed. I hardly dialed any wind except for one stage, I believe. But when I could feel it picking up, I would see my miss off to one side and I was able to correct and get a hit on the follow-up round. And that is something I was very proud of myself for finally getting down. So I am learning. I really got to start putting all of this stuff together better and holding it together for a full match instead of just 1 or 2 good stages. Well, if you could, please let me know what you think down in the comments. A few things to take note of. If you see your zero shifting around, don't just assume everything is tight because you don't feel any wiggles. It could just be a 1/2 to a 3/4 of a twist on the bolt and you do have problems. So I need to check the zero again and make sure that it is holding and it hasn't moved around anymore. I'm going to do that the following weekend. I'm honestly just way too sore right now, and it's time to get home for the weekend and get ready for my work week to start tomorrow. But I think I did okay where I was able to. I really need to do a few things better, like one, get more rest beforehand, and two, kind of think through the full stage a little better, instead of being ready for one part of it. And I need to make sure I'm going to do good on all parts of the stage, instead of having to, change ideas, like throw my bag out of the way and try to hold up my rifle with my thumb resting flat on the ground. That's really not a stable position at all. I'm shocked I got one out of those 3 hits. Hopefully the video has been playing that I took through the scope cam. Also had my other camera set up so you can kind of get an idea of what I was dealing with. So hopefully all this works out and you're able to see most of that. But overall, I'm disappointed in myself, but I don't have anyone to blame but me on this one. So it was really all errors on my own part, and it's all things that I can theoretically fix quite easily, just doing some more practice and working the skills more. Like I said, I'm confident on my ammo, so I think I can put that out of my mind and move on to the next thing and really start hitting it harder and getting those skills built back up and move on to the next level. Well, I think that's going to do it for this one. As you can probably tell, it's getting dark and I need to get home. So thank you very much for hanging out with me while we talk about my first match for the 24 and 25 season. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more coming. Up next, I hope to get my inline wall panels installed and show you how that all looks once it's done. And yes, I did already film how filthy and cluttered my workbenches are, so you will get to make fun of me for that when we get into that video. But my camera's losing focus and I'm going to get home. So thank you very much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.